Hello there, welcome to MTurk Guide. Quickly, I'd like to go over qualifications, but in a subset of the qualifications, the Adult Content Qualification. So what this is, it's essentially a qualification that indicates you're above the age of 18 and that you agree to potentially view adult content, essentially. So if you don't want to see stuff like that, you can certainly not get this qualification. And technically, you're supposed to be over 18 years of age to use MTurk at all. So, I mean, that piece of it's a little bit redundant to the sign up process, but occasionally requesters will have something where you're categorizing pictures, or you're reading and classifying tweets, and sometimes foul language makes their way into the tweets, or a picture is, they get a search of pictures and they get, a bunch of whatever they're looking for, and it happens to have somebody who's either very scantily clad or perhaps has nothing on. So, essentially they're just ensuring that you won't take offense to anything like that. And MTurk would prefer if the requesters would use that adult content qualification only and use that as a qual to prevent anybody who hasn't taken the qual from accepting the hit. But not all requesters really necessarily know about it, or they choose to ignore it. So sometimes they'll have it or not have it, but they'll have the warning up at the top. It will say like, worker discretion is advised, potential adult content, or sometimes they'll be more specific, like with the categorizing tweets, they'll say, profanity, may be contained, things like that. If you're hard and fast about that stuff and you don't want to see it, don't take the qual, but it will filter out some of the work you're able to do. So my preference would be to take the qual, indicate you're willing to look at it, but just return or not accept anything that's too over the edge for you. Really, you're never gonna, or I've never seen a whole batch of stuff that was specifically profane or unacceptable. It's these like little embedded things that slip in once in a while. So again, to forego a whole batch or potentially good paying hit because, it may have F-bomb in there, or, you may see a woman in lingerie. I don't know. That's totally up to you. But I want to tell you how to either get that stuff if you want it or avoid it if you don't want it. So the way that you should do this, and I would suggest everybody go ahead and do it, is when you come into the system and you're in the hits available to you page, or the all hits, or anywhere really, you're going to click on the qualifications tab. Now, when you go into this part of the system, it does tend to slow down a little. It's not you, it's not your computer. There are a lot of qualifications. A lot of requesters use qualifications properly, by giving you a qual if you've already taken a survey, so you can't retake it, things like that. So the system, that piece of it's really bogged down, in my opinion, because there are a lot of qualifications, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is what it is. So you're going to go in, and you're going to type adult content and search within the qualifications. That, it'll chug a little. The hamsters are running over there at Amazon to bring up your adult content qualifications, but it will come up, and here it is. Okay, so there's a few of them, and you can see where some requesters have taken upon themselves to try to do their own version of the adult content qualification. I wouldn't bother doing any requesters adult content qualification unless they specifically require you to, because it's it would end up being a time suck, because you could really be in qualifications forever. There's thousands of them. So we're going to focus on the one that's right here. It says adult content qualification, Amazon Mechanical Turk. And then it's going to tell you to take the qualification test. I did this a long time ago, so I don't know if it'll let me retake it or whatever, but okay. So it says you're required to complete a test to obtain this qualification. Click on the continue link to proceed with the test. You'll be notified when the qualification test has been graded. So you can see the qualification value I have right now is a 1, which means I did in fact take it, and I gave them the answers that they wanted. Now, if I went in and said, I'm not 18 or something, well, it would give me a 0, and then I wouldn't be able to access any hits that say the adult content qualification needs to equal 1. It's really just like ones and zeros or a bunch of numbers that indicate, what category you fall in for that particular qual. The retake delay is 0 seconds. So if you any of the quals that have a test, it'll have a retake delay. Sometimes it's a few seconds, sometimes it's days, sometimes it's weeks. There's also qual tests that you only get one shot at, and you have to do it right the first time. So be real aware of the retake delay. This one isn't as important because you can retake it as many times as you want, but on ones that have either a very long retake delay or no retake delay, you want to be sure you're heading in with your head screwed on straight so that you don't blow an opportunity to get a good qualification. So if you hit continue, you'll have your quote unquote test. Again, I'm not sure what it's going to hand to me as I've already done this. Okay. So it's going to let me take it again. And I am over the age, 18 years of age, which I am. And I agree to work on assignments which may contain adult content. I do. So I assume if you weren't to click one of those and you hit submit, it wouldn't allow you to have the adult content qualification. So I think this is pretty self-explanatory. So you go ahead and submit it. And some tests are auto-graded and others aren't. There's a few different ways that the requesters can go about it. You saw that they gave you 10 minutes to answer 2 questions. So pretty liberal unless you got distracted. But again, you could retake it pretty much immediately. So I've been granted this qualification with a value of 1. Great. So again, if I were to then move on and want to take a hit that required this qualification, I could do it. I could then assess from there, whether it's something I wanted to partake in given the nature of it. As I said, because it's a term of service violation on the requester's end, to have any sort of, profanity or adult content without a warning, you're most often going to find that it has that information in the title or it's in the description. So I don't think I'm going to find one that has it, but it would be in the title, which is this line right here, where it says type the text or get the product code, and then the description in here. Here it says type the text carefully. So it would say it in there. So you would have fair warning. If you didn't have fair warning and you came across something that was offensive, you can report that to Amazon. I have a webcast that I'm posting later today that specifically discusses the terms of service violations, hits you should avoid based on those terms of service violations, what you should report, what Amazon does and does not do about reports, and how you can go about reporting them if you're so inclined. So I have that, and I will be posting that later today. So if you're probably listening to this after I've posted, you can go ahead and search for it. It'll probably be posted today, September 10th. So look for September 10th, 2016. All right. So as usual, please let me know if this is helpful, not helpful. Let me know what you like to see, what you like to hear. Like, subscribe, comment, talk to me, anybody out there. As I said, this is just one of those setup items that I really suggest you do. It'll open up doors for you that people who don't know about the qualification won't have open to them. And that's one of the key things about MTurk is having opportunities open to you that others don't have. So making sure you have this call is fairly important, especially for the requesters that are playing by the rules. And those are the requesters that are there for the long run generally. So those are people you want to link up with, people who have high volumes of batches that they want to put on MTurk for work. So alrighty, that's it. I'll stop rambling. Definitely let me know what you're struggling with, or if you have any questions, I will answer them as soon as I possibly can. Thanks.